Hello, my name is Alison, and I'm going to help you solve this trigonometric equation. I have here 3 simple steps. The first one is solve for the angle. Then we're going to solve for x, and there's going to be more than one solution. And then we're going to use coterminal angles to find the other values for the angle and also solve for x. I have here a unit circle, which hopefully you've memorized or at least familiar with, and we're going to use that throughout the lesson. So starting off, 4 cosine 2x equals 2. We're going to divide both sides by the coefficient 4. And we get cosine 2x equals 1/2. And if I look here at 2x, I'm going to think about that as just an angle like theta, making the substitution that theta equals 2x. And if that should look familiar to you, cosine of theta equals 1/2. And on the unit circle, we can see that that occurs right here. Cosine refers to the x coordinate on our unit circle, and that occurs at 60 degrees, or the angle can also be expressed in radians as pi/3 radians. Okay, so that's the important angle we're looking at right there that makes the reference angle of 60 degrees or pi/3 radians. So that's our first solution, is theta1 is pi/3 radians. Now, we also see that cosine is positive in the 4th quadrant because x coordinates are positive in the 4th quadrant, and that angle also has a reference angle of 60 degrees. And it says right here 5 pi/3, but if you don't remember that, here's how you get there. If you start at 0, I go pi/3, 2 pi/3, 3 pi/3, 4 pi/3, 5 pi/3, right? And so you can see if you kind of cut this up like a pizza pie at 60-degree increments, and then count in radians, 1 pi/3, 2 pi/3, 3 pi/3, 4 pi/3, 5 pi/3, we have a second solution of 5 pi/3. So theta1 is pi/3, theta2 is 5 pi/3. Now, remember this substitution. So because of that substitution, we now need to solve for x, okay? And so now we're going to take our first angle of pi/3, and I'm going to say pi/3 is equal to 2x. And so we divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. With fractions, I prefer to multiply by the reciprocal. So pi/6 is equal to x, and that's our first solution of x, which you can see is right here for answer B. None of the other solutions have pi/6, so I'm technically already done, but you should really keep going to understand where the other values come from. So if we go to our second known angle of 5 pi/3, and we set that equal to 2x, divide by 2, multiply by 1/2, we get 5 pi/6. And that's our second solution, and you can see that right here. So now we're going to use coterminal angles to find the other solutions. And what that is finding angles that if you keep revolving around the circle, you end up in the same place. So I stopped here at 5 pi/3. I'm going to keep going. 6 pi/3. So try that again. 6 pi/3, 7 pi/3. So here we have 7 pi/3 is coterminal with pi/3. So if I say that 7 pi/3 is equal to 2x, divide by 2, multiply by 1/2, right? 7 pi/6 is equal to x, and that's my third solution for x right here. Finally, keep going. 8 pi/3, 9 pi/3, 10 pi/3, 11 pi/3 is coterminal. I forgot to put the 11 in front of the pi. 11 pi/3 is coterminal with 5 pi/3, and that will be our fourth and final angle. So we set that equal to the 2x, divide by 2, multiply by 1/2. 11 pi/6 is our fourth solution for x, and there it is right there. Let me know if you have any more questions.